Hello, children. Greetings to you from my awesome basement. I'm recording this lesson at home. I'm relaxing and having a good time. Hopefully you're watching it at home too and taking notes. Today's lesson is stretching and shrinking, lesson 2.1. It is called drawing whumps. What are whumps? Well, we'll learn in the lesson. And the lesson today is on page 22 and 23, problems A through C. Then we're going to do our ACE problems, 29 through 31. And our learning target is that you can apply rules to coordinate graphing to alter shapes. That's right, we're going to monkey with shapes. We're going to do some transformations. Alright, so here we go. Okay, here are our notes. And our notes are going to start out like this. We want lesson 2.1 notes on a fresh sheet of paper. We probably want to also have a S plus S for stretching and shrinking on there. We want to have the name, date, and crew so that we can go back to these notes and find information if we need it for our test. And we want to include the page numbers. And we probably want to open up our books to the page numbers 22 through 23. And if you need copies of graph paper to cut out and stick there, I have copies available. You can use a scissors and some glue and have some fun. Take all the time you need by pausing this video. Okay, so how does this lesson work? Well, we're going to be doing some stretching and shrinking using coordinate graphing. And coordinate graphing, again, is making points using X and Y coordinates. Most of you probably remember how to do this, but if you don't, here's the trick I use. I look at X as a cross, so right and left. And Y asks me how high, up and down. And X always comes first. So we're going to use some coordinates to graph ourselves a triangle. Okay, and this is kind of important that you get these down. So I would have some graph paper and I would try to make this look good. Those of you that maybe are a little sloppy in your note taking want to be especially careful with this one. Okay, so our first point is at 0, 0, and we're going to make our point at 0, 0. Our next one is going to be 0, 3. So I go 0 across, up 3. And my last point is 2 across, 2 up. And I end up getting a triangle by connecting the dots. Hopefully I did that right. If I didn't, one of you will tell me, I'm sure. Okay, so that's pretty easy, right? Well, now let's see if we can apply some rules and monkey with them. So, we're now going to enlarge a triangle using a rule. And this is our rule. 2x and 2y. What does that mean? Well, it means we are going to double the x value and double the y value. So I'm going to multiply both of them by 2. So, if I use that, my 0, 0 becomes, well, what's 0 times 2? 0. What is 0 times 2? 0. So did it change at all? No, not really. Not at all. But let's graph it right here. And now I'm going to graph the second one. And what's 0 times 2? Well, it's 0. That didn't change. But what's 3 times 2? Because remember, I'm applying this rule. I get 6. So now my new point, it was 0, 3. Now it's 0, 6. So I'm going to go 0 across, up 6. And then, for my last point, 2 times 2 is 4. And 2 times 2 is 4. So I go 4 over, 4 up. And by connecting the dots, I have enlarged this whole shape times 2. And if I look back at my previous slide, you can see all of the sides, all of the points, all expanded to twice its normal size. It is doubled in size, but it is similar. If you take a protractor out and measure it, all of the angles will be the same. If you were to take a ruler out and measure all the sides, they would be twice as big. So by using coordinates, we can enlarge a shape or shrink it really, really easily. But let's say I don't want to just enlarge it. I don't want to just shrink it. I want to mess with it. I really want to ruin its day. So now I'm going to stretch it using a rule. And my rule is 3 times x, and y I'm going to leave it alone. So I start with 0, 0. Well, what's 3 times 0? 0. And y I leave the same. It's going to stay 0. So now I end up getting 0, 0. Well, let's try the second one here. Well, what's 0 times 3? It's 0. What's 3 times, well, nothing, because I'm keeping it the same. It just stays 3. So nothing changed with y. And you can see that in my formula. Y I keep the same, but I'm going to multiply the x by 3. So I do 0, 3, same as before. Okay, that's interesting. Well, now what happens when I do this one? Well, what's 2 times 3? Because I remember I've got to multiply the x by 3. I get 6. And y I leave alone. So my new point is 6, 2. So I got to go 6 over, up 2. And what I've done is I've made it 3 times wider, but I've kept it its exact same size. So I've just really ruined its day. I stretched it out in one direction. And if you've ever been on a computer and tried to change the size of a photo and accidentally pulled it and made somebody look really chubby, or accidentally pushed it and made them look really skinny, you understand what's going on here. Okay? So basically, by applying these rules, all we're doing is multiplying one value or another value to change its size. And sometimes we do both if we want something that's going to look the same, just bigger. And sometimes we do just one if we want to stretch it out in one direction or stretch it out in another. And that's where it comes into our classwork. In our classwork, you're going to make graphs of the WUMPs. Now, WUMPs are a computer character that they have programmed onto their computer, and they use the little XY points to graph them. So you're going to be doing a lot of XY graphing, but you're also going to be using the coordinate rules. For instance, for point C here, the original WUMP is 2, 0. But if I use Zug, I have to double the x and double the y. So I end up getting, well, 2 times the x value gives me 4. And 2 times 0 is still going to be 0. And then if I use the same thing with lug here, well, what's 3 times the x value? Well, 3 times 2 is going to be 6. I leave y alone. Okay? And so on. You're basically going to apply different sets of rules to these 3 characters, and then, 5 characters, and then have to graph them. And the graphs are going to look just awesome when you're done with it, okay? It's going to be really, really cool, okay? Just be patient, do the math, and be very careful when you're graphing these points out, because even one being out of place can really mess with you. Just remember, x is across, right and left, y asks how high. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, our work today, our classwork is going to be on page 22 and 23, A through C. You're going to need a table, which I will provide for you. You can paste it into your book when you're done. You're also going to need lots of graph paper, which I will also provide for you. And your ACE problems are going to be 29 through 31. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, have fun. Good luck.